Hi, welcome to the glorious world of Brahman Solutions. Brahman Solutions is in the field of soft skill training, and we offer various kind of programs which are useful for all kind of industries who are into the sales, purchase, manufacturing, production, negotiations, after sales service, business development, and so on and so forth. Let me introduce you something about what exactly Brahman Solutions is. Myself, Bhushan Devdar, and I have been selling industry since last 35 plus years. I've been working with various organizations, and as far as the location-wide areas is concerned, I have almost traveled more than 75% of this country, and once in Germany in 2012. Industries I cater till date in selling, as such as started with pharma, then I had been to synthetic food colors, then for some time I was in optical trade, then AC and water cooler, then I happened to be in the water purification industries, one of the best brand at that time called Zero B, and white goods like AC and water cooler. I was with Usha, then Iron Exchange, the company I was working, and then I was with petrified synthetic petrified tiles, then synthetic food colors and dyes. Then I happened to be the industrial automation, entry automation company. You can call it the engineering goods. So industrial entry automations as such, and then I happen to be the furniture fittings and hardware, the company called Etic, and they sent me in Germany in 2012. And after that, up to 2016, I was with Etic itself, and then I happened to be working with two, three more companies, so especially with one of the German companies with office automation called HSM. So, how all of a sudden the idea came about starting my own startup itself called Prima Solutions itself. So overall, after 35 plus years my experience, I came to know that a lot of our people in sales, especially in sales, they are lacking the kind of something called communication, negotiation skills, and so on and so forth, some other key segments as well. So I decided to initiate with such a startup called Brahmin Solutions. Now, how this name come in mind? Brahmin, B-R-A-M-I-N. Some people they pronounce like Brahmin, so it's not Brahmin. We spell B-R-A-M-I-N-E, Brahmin Solutions. So what exactly it means? Well, overall in last 40 years itself of my selling career and negotiating and meeting with all people, I came to know that almost 99.99% of our activities are controlled by mind. There are only 3-4 physical activities, rest of all are totally psychological, you can say mental activities itself. So I have a full faith and belief, strong belief itself, that a strong mindset can do the strong things in life itself. So you need to get the best of the about the mindset. So it connected to brain. So I took three alphabets called Brahman, B-R-A, and M-I-N-E for mind. So it has become Brahmin Solutions. So when I initiated that, a lot of people asked me that what exactly it means by Brahmin, why minority Brahmin? I said the pronunciation is Brahmin. It's one for brain, other is for mind. And what exactly we do, because almost every time whenever I meet all my clients in all that period and whatever the companies I catered with, I worked with them, and I used to meet a lot of kind of various clients, then customers, engineers, then contractors, sometimes the end users, sometimes dealers, distributors, negotiator, sometimes for interpersonal skills itself for my seniors at that time, MDs of the company or sales managers at a very initial career of mine. So I came to know one thing all the time, that your entire success is depending on what kind of communication rather you cater to. And then that idea came in my mind that why should not I come out with a startup which will purely deal with some of the programs. And therefore the idea has emerged itself, and we have started doing that. It's called Brahmin Solutions. So I am in this Brahmin Solutions which I initiated in 2016. So last 6 years I've been doing a lot of programs for various companies, institutions, sometimes a group of 3 or 4 people, or sometimes some companies are not. But the thing is that we have around 8 to 9 various programs. So today I'll just talk to you about what exactly communication skills. Now let me give you a brief about me. So I live in a place called Dombivali, and I've been traveling to various parts of the country. Still I'm traveling. And whenever anything comes up, so I do it. Last 2 years we have been all suffering from Corona, COVID and all. So I was managing from my home. So at that time I used to have my Skype connections. I used to give lectures on communication, public speaking, and so on and so forth. So let me briefly take you to the what exactly programs we are catering into. So we are into the communication skills, interpersonal skills, personality development, then business development and marketing, sales, business development, then sales development workshops we also conduct, interpersonal skills, public speaking is one of the program also we conduct. And there are 4 or 5 other programs also. Then now we have just introduced one new program that is called the employee retainership. That is something sometime other in another slide of that my program I'll tell you about it. But today let's talk about exactly what communication is. Because you know what exactly happens, we all talk about only everywhere you must have seen the word called communication. What exactly communication is. So let me tell you before start of this small interaction rather with you. Communication doesn't mean you need to talk only in English. It all depends on what kind of audience you are catering it to. Because it's very simple that if I am communicating with you all and I understand you all are people from one particular region which is not at all required every time to speak in English, then me speaking to all of you in English is going to be totally in vain. So the first thing is that you need to understand what kind of audience you have. But today, this lecture particularly is only for the understanding itself that all of you and everyone is in corporate itself. And normally in corporate world, English is a language is purely spoken. Of course, these are other things also that you can mix up with some other languages as a comfort zone of each individual lessons. But the first thing comes in our everybody's mind before starting the this particular period called communication. So that's why we speak. Okay? Any idea? Okay, let me take it to that. We speak just to interact with the opposite person and exactly what kind of ideas, what kind of message we have in our mind, just to share with that person. So that's a general talk itself. Now communication is a word that is not exactly word, it's a total process. It's an activity. So when we speak to someone, now again I'm coming to the word called speak. So in English particularly, one word has got 5 different words for the one word speaking itself. Meaning remains the same or the activity remains the same. Okay, I'll tell you one thing. I speak to one person, that is speaking. The activity is called speaking. But when I'm just speaking to him only a general talk, it's a general talk. So again the word has come talk, T-A-L-K. Okay? So I'm talking to someone. When I'm talking to someone, still the same thing is going on. Okay? When I'm talking to someone in particular product itself or particular topic, that is I'm narrating something. Then the same process is going on when I'm just giving on one particular view or an idea, I'm giving notes or I'm discussing with somebody. There is again a discussion. That again same process going on, speaking or talking itself. Or at the same time when one person is addressing to many in mass, especially in the political gatherings and such. So basically one blah 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 leader is addressing to the entire mass. But same thing, a process of speaking is going on. So entire activity. Then one more thing called negotiation. When two people are talking to each other on understanding each other very well for product selling and product buying. So that time the person who is planning to buy, he must be having something in his mind about the bargaining itself. So that time that process called negotiation. Okay. So at what particular point both will be satisfied and the deal will take off. But that negotiation also needs better amount of communication. So now you must have understood that what actually the importance of communication. I'll tell you one thing. Today, you will find that if you search on YouTube, you will find a lot of public speaking people are there, motivational people, motivational development people are there, lots and lots of people are there. Many people will keep on telling you about what kind of communication work. But the basic thing is that if your communication is proper, and that proper is what? So what you speak to be very well understood by the opposite person. And if you speak to that opposite person well, if he understands well, in that position itself, he will be able to take the decisions as whatever you have told to him. See, because the first golden rule of communication, or you can say it's a thumb rule, that whenever two people are talking to each other, directly or indirectly, they are giving hints to each other. Okay, now what kind of hint? Hint is something like that. If I am talking on one specific topic, so that means I should stick to that one particular topic. If I diverge from there, then opposite person who is listening to me, he might start either yawning or this way. So that is an indication from him that he doesn't like that. So that is called giving an idea, and therefore it always happens that two people when talk to each other, they give a hint what they like, what they like. Some people appreciate, and that appreciation sometimes, yeah, maybe like giving thumbs up, or they may start taking interest in whatever you are talking. Right? So let's come to that. What actually communication? So how you can make your communication better? Okay, better means what? Better means doesn't mean that one person is speaking very well, very fast. It's not like that. Remember one thing: the level of your communication can only be derived, or it can only be decisable. It depends on what kind of impact is being created and whom your audience. You might have seen that there are a lot of lecturers in a college. In every college, there are only few lecturers. They are very popular. Some, they are highly intelligent, highly qualified, but they are not so popular among the students. Sometimes, in every organization, the same thing happens. Few people are popular. The thing is, they understand what to speak, when to speak, how to speak, whom to speak, and where to speak. That is very, very important. Now in communication, let me tell you, there are something around 5 elements where I'm just going to give you brief itself. So the first thing, let's come to the very first is that pronunciation has to be very, very clear, what we speak. Again I come back to that. There is nothing called language. Its language is whichever language you speak to, you have a full freedom and liberty to talk to any person in the language which he or she understands. So it's not that because I'm with the blazer style, that this is my professional attire. So I am delivering with you lecture in a common simple English itself. So when you speak in English and talking to someone about, when I'm talking about communication particularly, so first thing that whatever the words we are using, it should be pronounced well. Now why pronunciation is to be correct and clear? There should be a clarity. See, when you pronounce a word, so I'll give an example. There used to be on NDTV was a channel, and Mr. Pranav Rai, way back I'm talking in the 90s or 80s and 90s, at that time I'm talking to you all. When Pranav Rai used to give a news in English, his English, the way he used to address was very simple, and it was something very explanatory as such. Some of the words which people may not find the exact meaning at the same time when they were listening to him, but they could make out with the gathering of some other words or the way he is speaking. That clarity he used to have. He knew that what he is going to speak is need to be understood very well. So it was kind of explanatory. So he had a clarity, and the pronunciation was proper. I'll tell you pronunciation, how it makes a lot of confusion. One of our one of the greatest all-rounders of this world today, Sir Kapil Dev. Okay? So Kapil Dev has narrated his incident in somewhere in 1986, 87 or 88. I don't know, remember the year itself. When they reached to Australia, and people in Australia, how they pronounce the words. We call today, they call to die. Okay? To die, like that. So Kapil Dev narrated something. He said when we reached to Australia and when we reached to Melbourne, one of the some press reporter asked them, because that time Lilly, Bosco, Thompson, all these great fast bowlers were there. So somebody asked Kapil Dev, "You came to die here?" So Kapil Dev said, "No, we came to play here." And then one of the colleague of Kapil Dev said, "No, he says you came today here." See, this is called the exact of pronunciation. Our pronunciation is today, their pronunciation is to die. So to die is what? They mean to say you came to die here. So not D-I-E, but D-A-Y they mean to say that. So that is called, first thing is very, very important. That is called pronunciation has to be very, very clear. When we talk about the pronunciation, then at the same time, whatever we speak to the opposite person, our face expression has to be connected to that, what we are going to communicate. You know? Because when we are giving some happy news itself, then we should have some pleased expressions from inside. Have you ever seen that somebody is giving a good hello? Yeah, my son has passed examinations and he came in very well. So he should deliver this particular message with some amount of happiness itself, isn't it? So that will create more mileage. The opposite person will be very happy. Or exactly the reverse, I have seen some people they give the sad news and a very happy. And you know one thing, that fellow is dying, he was just met with an accident. What's that? It's going on. It should not be like that. I just gave you the example, and because I met a lot of people handle this. Okay? So you face expressions while communicating something with the people, and particularly in pronunciation. So when you pronounce one particular word, they should be having that amount of clarity. Now what else into that? Then apart from pronunciation, there has to be some amount of pause. When we make some communication with some people, there should be some pause. If a statement is made without having a pause, it creates a lot of confusion. So remember one thing, there should be a pronunciation, pronouncing the word proper. There should be a clarity in what you speak. There should be some gap, and most importantly, your face expression has to be there. Now let's come back to the another thing which is very important to call body language. Many of us have observed that when they talk about body language, so they see one should have that, that well-built muscles. It's not like that. Our body itself has got one language which can be delivered itself. Because whenever you are speaking, meeting, or interacting with another person, they gauge you, they look at you, they observe you, and then they make a decision. So your body language has to be something like that. It should give some amount of a message to the opposite person. Have you ever seen that there are many people when you shake hands with someone, you talk to someone, suddenly you find that the moment you make an interaction with an opposite person, he feels very pleased. He feels very happy. The thing is, sometimes you become a magnetic personality for that opposite person, even though you are meeting for the first time to him, because the entire attire you are carrying as a personality, as a body language you are carrying, is very amount of a positive energy. Believe me or not, your simple handshake with opposite person can convert a lot of energy of yours positive into that opposite person, even though he may be in a deep shock itself. So that is also part of body language. Now what other part also there? You need to be dressed well. You need to be with a little bit amount of smile, having good amount of clothes. Not all the time blazer attire. No, it's a professional attire. Whatever you wear should be neat, clean, and most important thing, that it should create a message, it should deliver a message to opposite person that yes, you are there to either helping them out or to listen to them, or they should think that you are among them itself. So that some amount of the message should be delivered by your own body language itself. Now at the same time something, what happens? We are talking about other thing. So there has to be some conviction in speaking. Now what is conviction? Conviction in speaking is something else. Have you ever seen that whenever armed force person, an armed force person, especially a colonel or somebody as a senior level, when he talks to his junior level people, he speaks with conviction. And how that conviction comes? Conviction only comes if you are confident about whatever you are going to speak to the people. If you are not confident, the conviction will never come in your body language or your own attire, whatever you are going to speak to the people. But it has to be there. Because I have seen many people, they don't speak with conviction. Now, if a salesman of the company, if he wants to give a message that this year we have to complete the target which has to be more than 20% higher, and I think that we can make it. Can we make it 20%, or should I talk to my senior management, make it 50? You can do that. No? This is not a proper amount of conviction. You should say, boys or gentlemen or my colleagues, management has decided that we have to grow it by 25% or more this year, and I'm confident we can make it. So that amount of his statement makes a conviction, and the speech itself, it will create energy in his subordinates, in his executives. So that conviction is very important. Now when we talk about the pronunciation and body language conviction, an important factor is over there, or a tool or an element, I'll tell you all of you like that is called voice modulation. That is also one of the important. So what is voice modulation? Let me be very honest. Voice modulation is not the thing that you are speaking at a very high speed or low speed, but it is something you are explaining something Sometimes you need to be a child, you need to be a father, you need to be a boss, you need to be a mother, you need to be a sister, you need to be a 70-year-old man. You should talk to a person in that way. When I said earlier that there should be pause in statements, at the same time, you should have a voice modulation over there, because an appreciation made in such a word itself, in such a process itself. The voice modulation is one process. Okay, voice modulation does not mean you are taking out the, like a mimicry artist they do, they take out this and hi, I'm Amitabh Bachchan. No, it's not like that. Voice modulation is just raising your voice, bringing it normal, bringing it low. That voice modulation, you should know at what time you need to pick up your gears. All of you must be driving the vehicles. So you should know at that time when you need to raise the voice, you need to keep it constant, and you need to lower it down. Because if you keep your voice on the same monotonous way, trust me, people who are listening to you will not be interested at all. Because you are narrating the achievement the same way. Last year we have achieved the 35% growth, and this year we are going to achieve 40%. The important thing is that so that same tone you are talking to people, people will not be interested. You need to create some interest among the people who are listening to you. And especially in communication, voice modulation makes a lot of important roles and can be played over there. And last but not the least, let me share with you, important thing is very important thing in communication, eye contact. I'll tell you that I again come back to square one. I told you all that example of best of the lecturers or the professors in college. They are very popular. They are popular because of few things. A successful lecturer in a college, or a team leader in a company, or a manager in the company, or a teacher, or any soft skill trainer, whenever he is delivering the lecture, what he does, when he comes in a class, he just gives first importance to all the people who are sitting behind him, at the back. Because of this eye contact, the people or the students or the boys or the executives, they are sitting behind the last corner. Everyone is there to expect that because we are there, you need to look at us. That is called feeling of importance. You make them feel that yes, you are important. Therefore, lecturers give their glimpse of eyes everywhere. All. And by eye itself, they can control the entire audience. You don't need to, you don't need to look at everyone by staring. So one should avoid staring. You should not stare. But giving a glimpse. Now what is glimpsing? So I'm talking to simply gentlemen, suppose the first or second tier, three, four bench people come, one, second, third, fifth row itself, fourth row itself. And suddenly I said, yes, I'm coming to you. So they also know that they are also taking care itself. So the attention is given to them. Because I always ask question in many of my lectures, I ask that why we leave. I'll tell you, we leave to get noticed. Nothing else. So each one of us wants to get noticed. If you notice people, people will notice you. If you don't notice people, nobody will notice you. Now once you are noticed, they need to appreciate. That appreciation doesn't need to have some words. By eye contact also, you can simply give eyes. Look at it, appreciate that. And eye contact is very important in all kind of communication skills. Doesn't mean that you are staring. No, it's not that. You should not stare. Give a glimpse. Have a good amount of smile in your lips, cheeks. Good eye contact. Never ever blink, because I have observed one thing. Some people has got a very bad habit of blinking the eyes without it like that. Yeah. Don't blink unless it is required, because blinking the eyes is a sign that some amount of weakness you carry, or some amount you don't carry that conviction you are going to deliver it to the people itself. Just be calm and quiet. Be like that, and then you will see that once your eye contact is very well developed, your pronunciation of words is very well, your conviction is very well, your body language is very well, and most important thing I'm telling you, whenever you are delivering a speech, one part of that conviction comes, that is called believability. So what is believability? I'll give you an excellent example. Believability first of all means that whatever you say with conviction is not going to be challenged by anyone else who should be listening to you. Okay? I'll give you an example. Imagine there is a riot in two kind of million people. And that riot is not coming under any control. So first local authorities, they called police. Okay, they call police, they do some lathi charge and all. And still that riots is coming under control by something around 5 or 10%. Then it goes to the state level. So state level the mercenaries, they come in picture, they try to control, they can pacify. But it comes up to 30-35%. But still that riots, that burning houses is going on. And then somebody comes and he appeals, maybe a senior leader or something, but still it comes not more than 50%. And then the things are going out of the control. Then the requirement, the government think that army should be deployed. And the news is spread that yes, armed forces are going to be deployed in this particular city to control the riots. Trust me, when the news comes that military or the army is coming in that place where the riots are taking place to control the riots, 95% of the riots are immediately stopped. And the moment the first armed forces Jawan enters in the city, comes out of his Bakhtarban vehicle and put his feet on the floor, you will find everywhere it is found, they take out with all the white flags and all. What is the reason? It's very simple. Everyone, even the right-making people, they know when it is called army, that means business, that means here. They believe that they will just finish it off. That conviction is there. Their aim itself, if they want to shoot, not necessarily with bullets all the time, but they shoot, that means they believe into that decision is there. They believe into that. And that believability is there in every country's armed forces. So that kind of believability, if there in your speech, if you say something, it should be with total conviction. These are only 4 or 5 things itself. And if we do itself, that will be much more better for all of you to improve your communication. And I'll tell you one more thing, that whenever you are traveling, just observe people how they speak. But while observing, don't stare. Just appreciate them. A simple appreciation can take you to miles away and meaning the people. With that, thank you very much and thanks a lot for listening to me. Good day. Bye-bye.